Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart, and this time we're going to be doing our analysis for the second trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It just happened yesterday with that little mini direct, and I have some things to say about this, so let's go ahead and jump right into things. So the very first scene, we see Mario walking down what appears to be some sort of hallway leading up to a Coliseum, and sure enough, that's exactly what it is. Mario is in a Coliseum, but it's not just any Coliseum. This is a Coliseum that is based off the Donkey Kong world. You'll see the golden bananas, you'll see a Kong face, there's bananas everywhere, really, and we're surrounded by an arena of Kongs. There's all sorts of Kongs all over the place. There's an entire civilization of Kongs that we're seeing be depicted here, and we've never seen this level of, well, Kong before in anything Mario, so this is actually pretty exciting. But let's continue on here frame by frame. I can't play actual footage because since Universal's working with Nintendo on this, any level of footage that's shown off could very easily get claimed or striked, so we're going to be very careful about that. But still, we'll be going over everything in this trailer. So moving on here, we see Mario's looking around. Obviously, he's trying to get a good grasp of his surroundings. We see more Kongs. And then here, what appears to be a big red girder, similar to what we saw in the initial Donkey Kong, that looks like where the battle's taking place. And who is there? Well, it's the newly designed Donkey Kong. But before I go into this, I want to play a couple seconds that I might have to cut it out, but Mario says something interesting.
All right, let's go.
That's it. That right there. He says, all right, let's go. Let's go. That's something very common from the Mario series. Whenever Mario goes into a world, he says, let's go. So we saw that there. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I thought it sounded pretty good. Moving on here, we see both Mario and Donkey Kong about to face off with each other, charging each other. We get a nice look at Donkey Kong galloping towards Mario. And what happens next? Well, they're about to strike. We see Peach for the first time and Toad there cheering for Mario seemingly. And Mario's charging, he jumps up, and this stance is actually really interesting because it reminds me of, well, what we see in Smash Ultimate. So it's kind of a cool thing, maybe a Smash reference there. And then Donkey Kong just proceeds to beat the plump out of Mario. And that's kind of it. But also we get our first look at Cranky Kong here. And what's interesting about seeing Cranky Kong, besides him just having a good time having some bananas, is, well, he seems to be garbed as the king of the Kongs in his Kongly throne, while Peach is next to him. So that just something interesting to see there. But let's continue on. You see, obviously, it's Nintendo, a project between Nintendo and Illumination. Now, Luigi is captured by Bowser, which doesn't come as of a shock from where we saw Luigi last time. But there's also something interesting here that happens, and I'm going to play that dialogue as well. Hopefully, I don't get copyright claimed here, but we'll see.
Not sure if you know who I am.
That's really all I wanted to get to, that not sure if you really know who I am. Because the implication there is that this is the first time Bowser and Luigi have met, and potentially maybe the first time Mario and Bowser have met as well, although Bowser is looking for Mario. So there's some sort of history there. Either A, he's heard of Mario, they've met before, there's some sort of prophecy or legend. There is a history there, but interestingly, it's the first time Luigi and Bowser have met. So that kind of gives us more of an idea of where this takes place in the story of Mario, presumably the beginning, although that may have been fairly obvious. But continuing on here, we see all sorts of different Bowser underlings hanging out together. All of them, the Shy Guys, the Koopas, the Piranha Plants, the one's about to snack. Oh, is that food there, or is it a person? It's food. Might be food. Might just be food. They're clearly having a party. You can see stereos in the background over here. Obviously, it's Bowser's lair. You got a Goomba over there. They're having a good time. Now it looks like they're rushing out to battle. Luigi's clearly scared, but he's not giving up the location of his brother. He may not even know. But there we go. Moving on. Something about this, actually. Luigi may be the damsel in distress for this movie. This may be, for Mario, his main goal may be to find Luigi. Because interestingly, we now see Mario with the wrench. You know, he can fix stuff. He's a plumber. And here he's looking at a faucet. He's analyzing it. He's probably trying to fix it because he's a plumber. And then next we see, after this part, there we go. This is just a really nice image seeing Mario and Luigi together. Clearly, I would say that they're working together, going door to door in what appear to be the streets of Brooklyn. We see like a little grocery store here. Very chill environment, seems like. We got with that little plumbing set. So yeah, they're plumbers. Now, there's something that came out a few days ago that I don't think I'm allowed to talk about that sort of further confirms that they are plumbers working together in Brooklyn, or something like Brooklyn. Yeah, it seems pretty likely that this is the case. There we go, Bowser's just torturing Luigi in a comical way. Clearly, Bowser's castle is approaching the Mushroom Kingdom. And this is where we see Peach taking a stand. Now, what's really interesting here is that for Peach, they are going in the direction of her playing more of a strong role. She's not the damsel in distress. Luigi's the damsel in distress this time around, which is just a really cool take on the character, and I'm totally and fully supportive. I would even argue that Peach is kind of like the main character in this trailer, at least. Maybe not in the movie, but definitely, seemingly, she's taking more of a prominent role in this trailer. She's clearly important. She might even be the second most important character in the movie, and we'll get to that. There's clearly importance here, but something else I want to point out, here we are in the throne room. We see the stained glass of Peach. This is the iconic image we've seen before in the Mario castle, not the Mario castle, in Peach's castle. So we'll see it again, but definitely cool stuff. Now, I actually want to really focus on here for a little bit. So there's a few different things to take away from this. This appears to be like a bit of a world map. They seem to be sort of planning on what's going to be happening. They see Bowser's sort of castle coming towards maybe the Mushroom Kingdom, if not the desert world. But what you'll notice, a few different things. One, this area right here, if you look carefully, it looks like there might even be like dead trees and lava. This reminds me of the area where we saw Luigi in the first trailer. So this could be where Luigi was at least left when they got portaled over. Here, however, this area is fully cooked in fire and lava as well. But if you look carefully, you may notice what appear to be ice sort of steps or an ice side of a mountain right here. So I think the implication here is this was the ice world of the penguins that we saw get attacked in the first trailer. Now here, what we see are these hills that seem to be iconic of a Yoshi area. Here, it looks like we might even be looking at, I want to say, something that looks kind of like the Kong-like pyramid area. So this may be where the Kongs are located. This may be where the Yoshis are located. This is a sort of typical Mario pyramid desert area. And then here, obviously, is the Mushroom Kingdom. So just something to keep in mind here, but there seems to be sort of like an established world structure. And we may be visiting each and every one of these areas throughout the course of the movie at one point or another. Here, I think it's a very interesting scene. We saw something like this in the first trailer, but this to me feels like a reference to Smash Bros. Again from the trailer for Super Smash Bros. Melee. Here we see Peach taking some sort of stand. The Toads are there. There's halberds. There's clearly some sort of speech he's having, probably because they're about to be attacked and they're going to take a stand. There we go. We see that. And here, what's really cool, kind of a nice little transition, but we see Peach in what appears to be sort of her Mario Kart costume when she is riding a bike, like a motorcycle, and she's taking a halberd. She's going to war. And here's Toad with his little pan. So they are clearly ready to go out and fight this thing. See, cute little Toad worried. It's just clearly just a little cutesy joke there. Now, this part's interesting to me because it looks like Peach is helping Mario to train. Now, what's neat about this is that, one, this presumably is taking place in the beginning of the Mario story. So how much experience does Mario have with sick platforming ability? We don't know. And maybe this isn't necessarily a place that is for training, but I really feel like it kind of is, because here we see, it looks like it's still in the Mushroom Kingdom. We see the environment. We see what appears to be the crest, and there's a flag. I feel like the goal here is to get Mario to train, which is why Peach is watching, because what you'll see what happens as we go frame by frame here. Flag is going up. It's almost like they're kind of setting it up for training, and there's Peach sort of like watching him, and Mario's like, yeah, I got this. And then, well, he doesn't have it. And then now it's nighttime, then presumably the same area, and he's still getting his butt whomped. So it looks like this is just where he's just working all day to try and get better, and here Peach is getting tired of him, well, not being very good. So yeah, it looks like this is a training segment. I feel like that's what this is. Mario is just trying to get better at being a platforming, running, jumping master so we can take on Bowser. Here we see what we saw from the first trailer, just Mario and Toad traveling together. I'm going to assume this is like the beginning of Mario's adventure. But what's interesting about this part right here is that we see Mario, Toad, and Peach traveling together. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, how Peach may be taking a very prominent role in this story. Rather than Mario, Luigi, and Toad traveling the world together, it seems to be Mario, Peach, and Toad traveling the world together. So that's kind of cool. But yes, this whole scene's indicative that they will be traveling together. But there's more that suggests that. Here we see the Mushroom Kingdom being attacked. And here we see Mario in his Tanuki costume. So there will be power-ups in this movie, which is super cool. And on the note of power-ups, well, we got another one, the Fire Flower. And here we have this beautiful environment filled with fire flowers, and here we see Peach transform into a fire flower mode. And that's super cool. You'll notice that her dress is no longer pink, it's in the white with the red, which represents the fire flower power. So she's going to be kicking butt, and that to me is super exciting. Again, Peach is taking on more of an adventurous, proactive, dominant role in this story, and she's going to be fighting back, and I think that's just awesome. But here we hear a little bit of a speech from Peach. I'm going to play just a small piece, but
universe out there.
Yeah, so I just played a small piece there, but she's referencing like the universe, there's galaxies. That's another reference to maybe Mario Galaxy. But something else that's cool that we see right here in this frame that I just chanced upon are Yoshi's running through. So as I said earlier, there seems to be a Yoshi section in this world map, and here we see Yoshi's running through, and this honestly reminds me of also another scene from the initial Melee trailer where we see Yoshi's running through. So it's kind of cool to see that there. Yoshis are definitely a part of the story to some extent. I don't know if we'll ride them, but I mean, maybe we'll ride them for at least a little. Here's another shot of the ice world as Peach is talking about the different galaxies. That's another shot from the previous trailer. Now here we see Mario going through some sort of warp, and Luigi's not far behind. They're being traveled to presumably another universe. Here we see Luigi with still the plumbing set, so I'm going to assume that Mario and Luigi were on a job together, and something happened where they're transported to another world. That world being the Mushroom Kingdom. And Mario's trying to catch Luigi. They grab hands, but we don't know what happens after that. But we do know they get separated. We do know that Bowser takes Luigi. I feel like something has to fall apart here. This could be towards the end or the beginning. It could just be like scene trickery here, but definitely, even though Mario grabs Luigi here, they're gonna get separated. And here Mario and Peach are together. Really love the animations for Peach and the facial expressions. Mario 2 is pretty solid. This part's epic. Okay, so this is Mario in an actual Mario Kart. This is gonna be a huge Mario Kart reference here. It's a huge segment. We see him with his little boosters, and he's driving off. There's Peach in the motorcycle. As I said earlier, she's in her biker costume, so I'm going to assume this is meant like as some sort of charge towards Bowser, some sort of effort to stop them, and they're running through clouds. They're on a literal rainbow road from Mario Kart, so I'm loving the references here. This is truly like true fan service. There's Peach. There, I believe, is Donkey Kong, which is super cool. We'll stop a second here. A whole bunch of karts. There, yes, we have Mario, we have Peach, we have Donkey Kong, and there's other people. There's Toad. There's apparently Kiddy Kong. There's apparently maybe Diddy Kong. Looks like Diddy Kong potentially, or something like Diddy Kong. And there appear to be a few different shots that may show off characters. Look like Funky Kong might be over here. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of Kongs that are here. It looks like they probably went to the Kong world to try and get their assistance, and well, looks like they are assisting. So that's super cool there. I will point out there have been some posters that have been released, and not only do we see Donkey Kong as the main star of the poster, but to the side we see Diddy Kong again, and also Dixie Kong and Swanky Kong. So there's a lot of Kongs in this movie, which I am totally a fan of. Moving on, we get this one last cool little part here, which I'm going to play as well. Wahoo! There we go. And that's the trailer, that's it. We got that wahoo, which I also think works pretty well. So I think people have had a lot of hesitation about Chris Pratt's voice here. Now it's still limited, small sample size, we'll see for sure, but I definitely am liking what I'm hearing here so far. I think it's pretty solid. Beyond that, there isn't too much more. We do get a look at Donkey Kong. This is his first major redesign since he went 3D, and he looks adorable. They apparently are going more towards like his initial sort of design that they went for back in the initial Donkey Kong, which came out back in '81. So obviously in 3D it looks totally different, but it's more of a comical look. And I appreciate it. I think it looks really cool. I like what they're going for here, and I'm excited to see what happens with Donkey Kong. I wonder if this redesign has even bigger implications for the future, but we'll talk about that in another video, another day. But anyways, everyone, that's my initial analysis for this second Mario movie trailer. What do you guys think? Do you have any other ideas? Did you notice anything else? Let me know in the comments below. This is On Just Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.